Hey, Randy Joe here, and welcome back to the channel where today we're going to be checking out another recent release that I never got around to as part of my, attempt to catch up this year on a lot of the big records that had dropped. So, without further ado, today we're checking out Big Thief's new record, Double Infinity. Now, Big Thief is not a band I have ever covered before on this channel. I have heard some of their tracks off of their last album, that being their double LP, Dragon New Warm Mountain, I Believe in You, an LP that I still haven't checked in full, but again, I am a big fan of Adrienne Linker's work, especially her solo LP last year, Bright Future, which I checked out on the channel. But other than that, I am, for the most part, pretty much a novice when it comes to Big Thief. This is all fresh territory for the most part, so I wanted to check out Double Infinity. I know it's not necessarily their most celebrated work in years. I have heard some people are pretty mixed on this one. Still, I am quite interested in seeing what this one is all about, seeing as it is a shorter runtime compared to that previous LP, and it does seem like some people really enjoy and love this LP, as I have seen it top some people's end of the year list. So still, there seems to be some sort of appeal to a lot of people. Maybe it just splits the fan base a little bit. But still, with that in mind though, I don't want to waste too much time. I want to just get into it. It's got 9 tracks, 43 minutes of runtime, with one of them hitting pretty much hitting that 7-minute mark, that being No Fear. Otherwise, 9 tracks, a lot of these being pretty lengthy. Let's get into it with Incomprehensible. All right, Incomprehensible, let's go. Really like the cover of like this weird lime. It kind of looks like the original Xbox logo. There's Adrienne. Soft country twangy voice. Really like love the galloping drums of Mr. James Krivchenia. I think I'm nailing it there. But his drum work here, it's got a good gallop to it. Representing my home province. Oh, I like that horn there. That was ever so slight. A very full and luscious production on this one. Very dynamic, the instrumentation. Message spirals, don't get saggy, don't get gray. But the soft and lovely silvers are now falling on my shoulder. My mother and my... Really love the very direct and honest and vulnerable kind of lyricism that Adrienne Linker has always kind of excelled in. Bright Future was a fantastic record for the songwriting, especially. I remember doing the reaction for that. I was very impressed with it. And now it's not an album I find myself going back to too often. There are some tracks on there that still have quite an emotional punch, even just thinking about them. So, again, really think it comes down to her just incredibly sharp and honest songwriting. I like this track a lot, though. Really love the production. It's very full. This kind of reminds me of a little bit of Wrecking Ball by Emmylou Harris. Has that kind of moody all-country tone. I like that one a lot. That's a nice, just sweet, swirling, epic opener. I love how comforting just the appeal of Linker's voice is. But I would say Big Thief as a whole has a nice comforting appeal. Here's Words, by the way. I love just... the drums feel very unfiltered in a way, everything just feels so raw in that mix. Oh. Oh, wow. Love how full this section is, especially those backing vocals and the instrumentation just picking up tenfold. Over top of Lenker's, again, incredibly gentle vocals. A very sweet arrangement. Oh! What a rough, raw guitar. That reminds me of something Brian Eno would do. I did like this one. I don't think it was as impactful as that opener necessarily. I preferred the swirling mix of that opener. But still, the backing vocals on this one were gorgeous. And again, the drum work. James Kripchenia. Love what he brings there. Very raw and unfiltered. Here's Los Angeles. I really enjoy the more such a rustic nature to their mix. It's something that they've never really lost on any of their music. Even Adrian Linker's solo project, Bright Future, had such a raw and kind of messy mix in the production. For example, her vocals, they've got a nice kind of muffled hushness to them that feels like it kind of gives to this atmosphere of a much more country twanged kind of westerny world. It's really beautiful. While at the same time, the production at other moments can be flourishing and massive and just so grand. A great contrast is really what comes key to Big Thief, it seems. Like her voice here, it's got an echo on it. It's a little distant. Love it. Maybe about coming back to a loved one and rekindling that relationship. Oh, love this. Just such a in sync, sort of intertwined, these two lovers. There's a certain sense of melancholy, maybe wishing this relationship would work out or excel, and thinking about, you know, all the things you could have done differently, perhaps. It's a very raw and emotional track. Really love how sweet it is. You know, there's like this sense of earnest and love for this individual who you're still accepting maybe it's not meant to be. And this guitar work, so like electrified on the mix and vibrant. Buck Meek is the name of the guitarist. Love it. What a name. Here's All Night, All Day. Damn. Adrian getting quite blunt with those lyrics there. Quite sensual. This somehow feels like the most intimate track so far. I feel like the last one was really intimate and just like emotionally driven, whereas this one getting quite sexual in the mix, but still very romantic in it. You know, it's not just throwing things away there. Really love this track especially. I don't know why people aren't talking about this album more. I feel like maybe I'm in the wrong circles, but so far we're four tracks deep, and I've really enjoyed every track, especially The first, last, and this track here have been incredible. I really just enjoy the palpable atmosphere of this track. You know, it's so emotional. It feels very authentic. Oh. Love the chorus too. I like that one a lot. Let's go into Double Infinity, the title track here. Thought it was going to be the longest, but it's actually not, which is shocking. There's a real, like, wintry vibe on this record, you know. Maybe it's the themes of heartbreak that have always been relevant to Adrian. It's a cold comfort. Oh, really like these double backing vocals. Is that Adrian once again? Could be these ladies, Hannah Cohen and Elena Springer. So, like, beautifully delicate on this mix. Man, I love the layering of this track. Each mix, each instrument just slowly adding on. Got a real growing and swelling mix here. I like this one. Very subtle, I would say. You know, like it has this nice swelling sort of proportion in that middle there with those instruments coming together, but even still they don't hit like some sort of massive crescendo like one might expect. Instead it kind of just slowly falters away. Really like just that gradual sweet growth. Love the backing vocals. It's a pretty subtle track, all in all. I thought it was going to be a much heavier sort of track maybe, or a much more explosive track, but I like the fact that it kind of subverted what I expected there. Just like how it feels very brief too. It felt shorter than 4 minutes, and maybe that's the swelling nature of it before it kind of teeters away. Really like that, and I feel like that one's probably gonna, upon re-listens, become one of my favorites. But here's No Fear. This is the big one, 7 minutes. So let's get into it here. Is there no lyrics on this one, or is it just a streaming issue? Love that bass line. God, that's like the thickest bass line on the LP here. Who's our bassist? Joshua Crumbly. Ah. Why is this such a groove of a track? Maybe some sort of obsessive nature? Love the very slow, meticulous, kind of meditative element of this track. This one has a bit of a, I want to say, Radiohead-esque sort of atmosphere on it, with that Big Thief sort of twang still deep. Love this repetitive nature, the lyrics, the groove, that interesting bongo-like percussion on the left. Like, this one just sinks you into this beautifully repetitive, monotonous groove. Oh, that rattling drum before it splashes. This almost has like a post-rock appeal to it, with its slowly growing, very focused on atmosphere-like delivery. Oh. Some shimmery chimes there, just so sweet. Oh, what is that, a rain stick? They're not holding back with the instrumentation. Wow, it just cuts off to a very abrupt finish. Wow. Before we get into Grandmother, No Fear is my favorite. Full stop. Love the emotional punch that a lot of these early tracks have, but I'm a sucker for a good meditative, slow-growing sort of epic. And while that was only 7 minutes in comparison to some real epics, it may not seem that long, I really just loved that gradual growth, that very swirling-like sound, everything coming together, so many different instruments too at play, especially as you reach that final moment. And I really like the fact that they do a stark cutoff. That alone in itself kind of makes you feel as if that meditative energy never really, I guess, ends. Or maybe it kind of speaks to the fact that sometimes things just kind of stop in the tracks when a good thing's going. Still, No Fear, amazing. Loved it. What a fun hypnotic track that was. I really got lost in the sauce in that one. Here's Grandmother. This one's also 6 minutes, a bit of a lengthy one, but I feel like with a title like this, I'm expecting a little bit more, emotional impact in the lyrics. It's got a real psychedelic twist on the second half, though, which is also very shocking. I want a full psychedelic LP from him, if this is the kind of stuff they're offering up. A real dark obsession with legacy and loss and death in Adrian Lenker's music, that's for sure. Kind of grasping on everything being so momentary. It's unfolding. We're all insane. We've got Laraji in the mix, creeping up vocally there, I believe, as well. Love this anthemic like chant. Oh, what a splash. My man, belts it out there. I love how there's such a, like I've said before, there's such a focus on the rustic instrumentation that gives it that kind of country flair that I think Big Thief does quite well. Well, at the same time, there's a lot of focus on a very futuristic side of production, very synth-based element too coming through a lot of the mix. And really just the whole kind of production focus feels much more forward-thinking. So again, a great contrast between the old and the new makes this feel very refreshing, yet still steeped in that sense of nostalgia. Which kind of segues this whole track about perhaps taking everything you know in life and turning into music adds to that nostalgia mixed with forward-thinking progression. Really, as she said here, rock and roll is all a kind of spiritual sort of creations. Another beautiful one. Really like what Laraji, I feel like I might be butchering that. I love what he brings to the table, though. Adds a real, again, nostalgic element to things of your spiritual side that is core to rock and roll within the message of that song especially, too. Here's Happy With You. Gotta say, No Fear and Grandmother back to back. I think sequencing-wise is a little interesting. I don't think these two kind of massive growing epics should be back to back. Personally, I would have preferred them a little separated in the track list. Still, you know, I'd probably put No Fear kind of somewhere in the middle with Grandmother perhaps as the final track. I think, I mean, depending how this last track here will go, but I still think Grandmother would make for a really incredible closer with No Fear, being maybe the end of side one in a sense. But moving on, Happy With You, let's go. Oh my god, our drummer is back into that gallop. Yeah, like I said, Adrienne Lenker sometimes likes to be very direct with her lyricism. Really working with a sense of repetition this time around. Well, repetitive, maybe this just has to do with, feeling like a sense of overwhelming joy and love and happiness with this person, but maybe the relationship is not meant to last, meant to be, and that has to do with the poison shame line. Maybe there is a sense of there is something that is going to stop this relationship from continuing, despite the fact that at the end of the day, this narrator here in question is happy with this person, so why does there need to be more to it? Maybe I'm overanalyzing it, though. Maybe it's just this direct, but still. An interesting track in terms of how little there is, maybe. Very conflicted on this track, personally. On one hand, I really like the repetition. I really like how, again, I would say meditative it kind of comes down to. The second half entirely of this album has been such a different turn, I would say, in style. It's so much more repetitive. It's so much more, I guess not slow. Happy With You was not a slow track, but there is a much more kind of growing element to the second batch of tracks, which is really interesting. I'm liking it more, though. I think I like side 2 more than side 1. And Happy With You is one that I'm either going to grow to love even more because I did really enjoy it, or I'm gonna probably maybe give it some skips in the future because it is that repetitive. I'm kind of curious to see how that will impact me down the road, but for the most part, a great track. Let's go into How Could I Have Known, the final track here. I like this one a little bit more like those earlier tracks, very sweet. Oh wow, this verse is beautiful. She really manages to capture that feeling of love, that sense of just magic that comes with really loving somebody for all that they are. I feel like Adrienne Linker, in everything I've heard, has perfectly captured that sense of love, whether it be pain or one of just true beauty, like in this track here so far. She's a great songwriter. Like, I cannot stress enough. Very subtle yet powerful songwriter. Oh, I love that kind of de-escalation in the mix up against her vocal delivery. And a very, once again, very real set of lyrics. Again, she hits you with that bluntness of heartbreak, with how abrupt those lyrics are after such a outpouring love. Love the electric elements of this LP. Just soars away. Kind of reminds me of, like I said, Brian Eno's Another Green World. Specifically the track Say It Almost Fire. Beautiful finish. One of pain, melancholy, and heartbreak to end it all off. Much in the same way that Adrienne Linker's a lot of her music tends to go. Songwriting wise, she does such an incredible job at just capturing that feeling of love and heartbreak with such ease. There's such a magic in her lyrics that feels so raw and vulnerable and relatable on top of which, but also hits you with the bluntness of reality of things maybe not really working out in the end. And I've got to say, though, loved that final track. I feel like it showcases the band, all their elements. It showcases the incredible arrangements of the mix, the electrifying guitar in that instrumental passage, the great drum work as well from, once again, James Krivchenia, who I thought is incredible throughout the whole LP. I think his drum work is amazing, whether it be as raw and as unfiltered as it often is, or sometimes a little bit more subdued to a much more interesting gallop. Love what he brings to the table. But overall, this album, front to back, is really enjoyable. I think it has a lot of emotion. It's got a lot of heart in it, but it has a lot of interesting production choices and a lot of meditative elements in that second half that will certainly have me coming back to it for more listens, because personally I always do find a nice slow growing kind of meditative track to be one that is the most rewarding on those re-listens. And No Fear and Grandmother and even Happy With You all kind of have that same sense of growing meditation. It's so easy to get lost in, especially with Happy With You having that repetitive, simple kind of Happy With You chant. Again, kind of sinks you in to that groove of things, even though it is a much faster pace. No Fear is my favorite so far here. Just incredible build up, the way it kind of hits that peak and then falters away. It doesn't have an explosive kind of crescendo like one might expect, but instead it kind of hits you with that sort of faltering kind of defeat in the end. And Grandmother is just a gorgeous sort of ode to, I guess, the power of music in a sense, and rock and roll, and how it is really just a spiritual connection that one has to creating such kind of unique, powerful soundscapes. My least favorite is probably Words. Not one I, found to be that engaging in comparison to the rest of the tracks. Maybe it'll grow on me on repeated listenings, but for the most part, Words was the one that I just find didn't really hit me that hard. But all in all, I really liked Double Infinity. I was impressed with it. I think this will probably, want me to go and check out their earlier work. I never checked out Dragon New Warm Mountain in full. I've never heard that thing, at least. So I should check out that record if that's interesting to you. Maybe suggest in the comments. Let me know that you want to see that. But Double Infinity was a really fun listen. And I'm glad I checked it out despite the fact that I've heard very middling things. I think maybe people went into this with a certain expectation. But I really enjoyed pretty much the bulk of this record. There wasn't anything here that put me off, at least. If anything, it's kind of put me on to their work. But that does it for today's video. If you like the video, please hit like and subscribe to follow along and listen to more albums alongside myself. If you want to see the album reactions I do here on the channel completely unedited, you want to see the full album reaction with what I have to say, of course, on top, then go ahead and check out the description down below. For only $5 every month, just $5, you get the full unedited videos of every album reaction I've done on the channel. So, if you do that now, you'll have a plethora of content from the past year or so to pour through. So again, down in the description, $5 a month on the Patreon. Otherwise, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and watch these videos completely edited, up to you. As always, my name is Randy Joe. I appreciate you watching, and I'm signing off.